Alexander Nevsky, Soviet masterpiece about Russian war with Teutonic Knights. Awesome. I'll have to check that one out. Is it one of those films where everything is just so flat and nothing ever happens, and they have super prolonged scenes where everyone's staring at something or someone's staring at something, and it's like 45 seconds of nothing, and then there's some kind of a tension being built up, but nothing ever happens. Everything falls flat, like a flat soda or a flat warm beer on a summer's afternoon? Or is there really good tension and really good apexes that follow that tension? I mean, what's going on here? Because I've watched a lot of different foreign films, and most of them were just sleep-inducing material. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's like, this is a masterpiece of a film, and then you watch it, and then you wake up for a few seconds and you look at the screen, and it's some Russian guy going, and you're like, well, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's he looking at? And then there's nothing. Oh, okay. The true Eastern European masterpiece was Come and See, which was a masterpiece. That film had the prolonged shots. I have no issue with prolonged shots. I love prolonged shots when they're justified. I love prolonged shots when they're justified. By justified, I mean the person actually sees something that's horrifying and traumatic, and the audience gets to see what he's seeing, and the audience feels what he's feeling, and then, wow, the impact of those prolonged scenes actually have meaning. But if it's just these prolonged scenes and nothing's happening, I don't know what's going on. It's like that Russian film, what's it called? Stalker. I did a video showing what, in my opinion, are the best Slavic films ever done. I mentioned Brother 2, Come and See, of course, the Island. I talked about Hatred, Polish movie. I talked about The Priest. I talked about all these great films. And someone said in the comments, well, why didn't you mention... He said, oh, it's a shame you didn't mention Stalker. Well, what I didn't tell him was that I've seen Stalker. It's a 3-hour film where nothing is happening. What's going on with Stalker? Nothing. It's a science fiction film. Where are the aliens? What's going on? Well, it's a scene... Like the visuals of the film, beautiful, very atmospheric, very haunting. But again, it's not backed by something the audience can actually experience, where the audience feels why that atmospheric grimness or that atmospheric gloom is there. You just have the atmosphere and it looks gloomy, but why is it gloomy? Why can't I experience what the characters have experienced to make them feel that way? Or what's going on here? And it's just, no, here's a scene with nice visuals and prolonged shots, and nothing happens. And then there's this one scene in the end when a girl has the power to move objects without touching them. She can do it. She can do, what's it called, telepathically or whatever. She can move something on the table like a person in Star Wars with the Force. And then the movie ends. Well, why couldn't that scene be put in the middle of the movie, and then the last half of the film show a bunch of very dramatic science fiction events or phenomena? Why couldn't the film have that? Instead, it's just 3 hours of 3 men walking, talking about philosophical stuff, and they're walking through this abandoned place, and okay, well, what's going on? Are we leading up to something? Are we going to see something amazing? Are we going to see something scary, something dramatic? Is there going to be a climax? And the film is very anticlimactic. That's the problem with Stalker. Oh, it's such a great film. No, it's not. No, it's not. And then you see the little girl on the table in the end, and she looks at an object, and it moves by itself, and the movie ends. Oh, wow. Okay, why couldn't that scene be put in the middle, and then the rest of the film actually show really nice, really cool science fiction stuff? Telekinesis, yeah. The Name of the Rose with Sean Connery, engaging murder mystery. I think I've seen that movie. Ran by Akira Kurosawa is good. Plot is derived by King Lear. Asian movies. I just never really I've had very good luck with Asian films. I need to do a video on best Asian films I've ever seen. And just to tell you guys what a good Asian movie is, I don't know. Ran. Oh! I saw this film many years ago. I saw this film when I was doing martial arts. I was very much into martial arts, and so I was interested in all things Asian. I saw the movie Ran. Yeah, it was again, it's one of those films where what's happening? And there's some beautifully done scenes in the movie Ran. And there's a scene where the samurai just takes a sword out and kills this woman because she's a bitch and she deserved it. Other than that, most of the film feels very aimless, and it's just this old man walking around going, ah, ah. Oh, that's another thing I noticed about older foreign movies. There's a lot of, ah, 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 ah. You're like, okay, what else is happening? And it just feels very aimless. There is a beautifully done scene where arrows are flying and a giant house is on fire, and that's really well done. But other than that, the film feels very aimless. Maybe I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing. I don't know, but the film feels super aimless. Seven Samurai is a good Asian film. I have not seen Seven Samurai. Squid Game. Have not seen Squid Game. It sucks when Arabagon is covering the mosaics of old Byzantine churches. Yeah, I agree. It sucks. Pre-World War II, I think. No, Alexander Nevsky is an old movie. Yeah, it's an old movie. It's like from before the Bolshevik Revolution. Gene Hackman and Denzel. What movie are you talking about? Is that Remember the Titans? I have difficulty saying the word remember. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I hate that word. Remember. I have to do the freaking phonics game every time I try to say it. Remember. Ruh. Damn American public school education. Damn you. USS Alabama nuclear sub. Oh, I see. Okay. I hear Bama. I think football. I'm sorry about that. Romance element ruined Pearl Harbor. Oh, it's garbage. Yeah, garbage. Never saw Oppenheimer. I heard it was good though. I'm not really interested in how the nuclear bomb was made, because the nuclear bomb is now the scariest thing in the world when it comes to diplomatic tensions. We're actually going to talk about that in a little bit. I actually planned to discuss that in this live stream. But here we are talking about films. Scariest movie I've ever watched was The Village. I saw The Village in theater. You're talking about the Shyamalan movie. There were some really good scenes. I think it was kind of a cool movie because there's a nice plot twist in the end. And I'm going to spoil it because this film came out in like 2003, so if you haven't seen it, I mean, where were you? But the whole film makes you, not the whole, but for most of the film, you think that you're watching a cult in the 16 or 1700s, and it turns out that the whole story takes place in the 21st century, and these people have not been living in the 17 or 1600s. They've actually been living in the early 2000s, but they have secluded themselves to a lifestyle that's very outdated, to a lifestyle that goes back to the 17th or 18th centuries. And they've done so to hide themselves from the evils of the modern world. So it had a very cool plot twist. Mulan had a very good sound score. I loved Jackie Chan's rendition of the song, Let's Get Down to Business. Let's get down to business. It's so well done. I love it. To defeat the Huns. Did you send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're the baddest thing I've ever met, but you can bet what I will do. You bet I'll make a man out of you. I mean, it's just, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. What else do we got? Admiral. Now, there's a Korean film called The Admiral, which is a masterpiece. The Hebrew Hammer. Okay, you're watching Anthony Hopkins. Okay, already read that. Napoleon movies sucked. That's what I've heard. They could have picked from a ton of his battles, but they chose to focus on his... It's so annoying when movies do this. Let's make a romantic interest to get the female audience interested. What about the female audience, everybody? Here's my opinion. Screw the female audience. Make a masterpiece. And they know how to make a masterpiece. Gladiator, they had a couple of female roles in that movie. The whole movie is epic. Braveheart, they had a little bit of a romantic story in the movie. The rest of the film is just pure epicness. You don't need to do this. Let me throw some Bama in here. Crimson Tide. It was a great movie. I'm not interested in Alabama football. Do you like Nick Fuentes? Do you like Nick Fuentes? That's my question. Look up Total War. Okay, I already looked at that comment. The Dark Knight. Oh, it was a great movie. Yeah, very good film. I loved Nolan's Batman films. My only issue with his Batman films was he put this woman with freaking cat ears to play Catwoman. It's so stupid, guys. That is so stupid. It's like you have this amazing character, Batman, and then you have Bane, and then you have this scene when he's somewhere in Central Asia, and he's climbing from this pit. And it's such a beautifully done scene. And then later on in the movie, you have a woman with cat ears who looks like she's serving cocktails in Hooters somewhere. It's just so stupid, so out of place, and so dumb.